So, let me see. Is all this stuff working? Um, yeah, how are all of you doing? It's been a while. What is this spot? Oh, is that a scab? I think that's a scab. Oh no, that's tahine. That is a flake of tahine. Yeah, how are all of you doing? It has been like, what, 2 weeks? Um, I took I had mentioned before taking a break. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to stream when I was out of town because I was staying at my friend's place. And then, what with it being like a totally different time zone and uh, us basically just having like packed days every day I was visiting, it was like, I don't think streaming is going to happen. Yeah, how are all of you doing? Um, Let me see where I was. I was out, so I was visiting friends, and then after that, we actually had a college reunion. So I was gone for that for half the trip, and like that was over the weekend and stuff. So technically, not the entire time, but it was really nice. I hadn't gone to the last reunion. I went to the one 2 reunions ago, and I got to see a couple people um, that I didn't see last time. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Um, and a couple like nice moments that were like, um, that. Oh my God, Kyle, how are you doing? um, yeah, wow, I can't believe I got like right away. Completely forgot about that. Um, yeah, a couple nice moments that were like very personal. Were like, you're trying to catch up with all these people. So one of the things is obvious is like, so what are you up to? Um, and one of the things I was kind of open with was like, I got laid off like 11 months ago and I'm still looking. And a few people actually like commiserated with me and they're telling me that they also had some pretty awful job search stuff. And then they got through it. They didn't tell me that, but they're definitely like, I totally get where you're coming from and it sucks. And Kyle, you quit your job today? Holy shit. Don't quit life. That's there's more that is coming and it should be better. I mean, honestly, that's what I tell myself too. So yeah, just you can make it. Um, but yeah. What was the straw that broke the camel's back for you for your job? Slash, what made you're like, I'm out of here. um, but yeah, um, yeah. So I don't know. That break I took was really good in terms of like just overall spirit for me. So it was nice to. I was definitely burned out on job search stuff, and now I'm like back, and I feel a little bit better. Even when I was gone, I was still working on like writing out some scripting and stuff on the video that I wanted to make. So yeah, today started dumb as always, and someone got fired, and then your friend quit, and then you quit. That is a day. uh, Holy crap. Uh, wow. I Man, I got nothing. That is a day. Sorry to deal with that. Yeah. Hopefully you got something like, do you know what you're gonna do next in terms of like, you don't have to like start a new job right away, but in terms of you're gonna take some time to think about stuff or, oh, not a clue. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you get to, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully you get to like do something for yourself as like a break, because I know you're saying that your job was pretty bad. So hopefully you can like do something that kind of like cleanses the palate and lets you do your next thing. Um, yeah, man, what a man. Here I was thinking like, because I got back Monday, and I got like, I flew out of the East Coast, like the flight was at 7 a.m. And I landed back in California at like 11 something a.m. Which was like, after we got back here, it was an ordeal just getting back home. Um, so stupid. Like, my brother called a Lyft. He went with me. He called a Lyft, and then the driver just went in totally the wrong direction. So originally the Lyft was like, app was estimating the driver would get to us in like 5 minutes. And after like 10 minutes, I was just like, where's the driver? And we're looking on the map, and he was not anywhere near the airport. And, we were talking about stuff, so we kind of just like rolled with it. But then eventually it was just like, so what's going on? The car wasn't moving. And I was like, I think you should just cancel and we'll just get another one, because like we're at the airport and we see all these other people, like they call a Lyft or an Uber, and they're out of here in like 3 minutes. So like I would cancel it and just get another one. And he said, like, let me try to call him and see if that changes things, because one of the things he rightfully said was like, I don't know what happens if you cancel. Like, is it a negative against you as a rider, or is it a negative against the driver? And I was like, that's a good question. But he kept calling the driver, and the driver kept refusing to pick up. So it was like, nah, man, we gotta go. We got places to be. And I think like just getting the Lyft took an hour. Like we called a second one and it took an hour. Meanwhile, like if we just paid attention, we probably would have been out of there in like 10 or 15 minutes. Then on the way back, we hit ridiculous traffic. So like I think it took 2 hours to only go like what should have been like a 20-minute drive. It was really crazy. But yeah, then we got back and everything is okay. But definitely, like, I thought about streaming Monday like normal, and it was just like, I do not have the energy for this. I think I like almost fell asleep at 8 p.m. And then yesterday, Tuesday, I just like conked out at like 11 p.m. And I had 2 interviews today. 2 like screening interviews today. So I was just like, I don't have energy for anything. I do kind of like being a little bit still on East Coast time. Like, I've been going to bed at like 10 or 11 all week this week, like Pacific time, and then waking up before my alarm clock at like 6 a.m. ish. So like I don't normally get 7 hours of sleep, and it's pretty great. So that may be why I'm like in a little bit of a better mood than normal. Other than the whole like coming back from like a bit of a vacation. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Let's see. What else are we planning on doing? I guess like Kyle, if there's anything I can do to help out, let me know. I'm not super sure what I can do, but if you just need someone to talk to or something, yeah, just message me on Discord or something. B3, you just have to get that work from home jobs with East Coast hours. So I did do that before. When I was at Medicare, I worked East Coast hours because Medicare administration wasn't like always the brightest. So they initially did like everyone can work. They're like during the pandemic, they're like everyone works remote. There's no like set hours or something. And what that resulted in was like people just like not having boundaries on their work days. Especially if they had contractors that were on Pacific Coast. The kind of work that most of them are doing, it's really easy to just add yourself to meetings, and you're just like in meetings for like 12 hours a day, which was like entirely not necessary. So like I did do that before. So like I was like I rescheduled my workout routines and stuff, so I'd go to the gym at like 2:30 or 3. But then I'd wake up at 6:45 and then just immediately go to a meeting, because the Medicare hours policy, they changed it so that they're like, okay, we're going to go super flexible, and basically we're going to do XYZ. And if you actually read what XYZ was, it was, we're enforcing all Medicare employees to follow East Coast time. And it was like, oh, okay. I mean, that's not actually flexible at all, but you know. So And it was super weird. So we also had like very strict check-in and check-out times for the day. And it was honestly pretty stupid. Like those check-in and check-out times are definitely based off of the like everyone has to come to our headquarters office and like log in, and we have security, and like we have all these things, and we need people in the office. And also like when you come in person, people kind of like check to make sure you're there and working. But when it was all remote, it was like wasn't quite like that. I actually specifically remember one person that I eventually didn't get along very well with, and she kept taking all of her meetings like in yoga clothes, like on her porch. And it was just like, are you actually working between meetings, or are you just like chilling out on your porch? Because like we have a lot of work to do. I'll let you guess which one it was, because she didn't do shit. But yeah, she had a lot of contractors. But the, what was it? So after I quit Medicare and I took like a month off, and I was like doing a little bit of a mini road trip in the American Southwest, what ended up happening was like I kind of kept those waking hours. So now I just go to the gym at that time, and it's great because it's not busy and the gym isn't freaking hot. Actually, my gym, the owner sold to a new owner, and the new owner, one of the first things he prioritized was, I'm gonna fix the AC. And it was like, yeah, I mean that thing was broken for like 4 years, I think. So it might be better now, but it definitely doesn't fix the like crowding. When I go at like super early in the morning, there's like nobody there. So yeah, and then when I started working at Niantic, it was like, excuse me, doing stuff after work. I didn't want to work out after work because like I'd want to do stuff after work, like either go play with my coworkers or meet other people and hang out with them. So yeah, I've basically kept that, except what I didn't change after I started working West Coast hours, as all of you know, I started staying up super late. But that meant that there are definitely days where it's like I slept like three hours. Yeah, and then sleeping 7 hours and going to go lift is just like, holy crap, I'm actually like pretty strong. Yeah, it's a tough problem to solve. Is there much change in daylight hours when it gets to winter where I am? Yes. So if I, let me think. Usually it gets dark around 6 p.m., I think. And then, yeah, actually, another thing about it, sunrise would happen like in the winter as I was getting to the gym. So that might be like 7:15. So like, and it'd be dark. So it'd be like kind of like 12 hours of daylight, I think, if my mental memory is like working correctly. But now there's like way more sunlight. Like when I go to the gym, I left this morning like at 6:48 or 6:50 or something, and the sun was bright. And I think the sun just went down like 45 minutes ago, so there's a lot more daylight right now. Yeah. Let me see, what's the plan for today? Well, I guess y'all can tell me how y'all are doing. So yeah, you two P3, how are you doing? And otherwise, I'll get back to working on building GPT from scratch. So following those videos. Off stream, I figured out how to deploy, let me see. I figured out how to export a transformed recipe into a Parquet file. So that's working. It's too big to upload, so that part's not working. I'm trying to figure out like how to take this Parquet file. Oh, I need to make a change. I forgot about that. I forgot to add the like cuisine to the data. But maybe that's actually not necessary because I'll probably keep changing that label anyway. But right now I've got like separated like full dense matrix with as a word embedding, or as a embedding, and then the original matrix, and then they can be joined on the ID because that's preserved. So yeah, I off stream was trying to figure out how to get BGEM3 to encode all the ingredients, and that worked on a test recipe, but I need to write a function so it'll actually go through and do it to everything, because I have to convert everything back to like a single string. Actually, that's not true. That might I might be able to do. Well, I at least have to do like I don't think it. I'll have to check the error message because I messed up something earlier and it was like I need a single string or list of strings, I think. So if I can get away with like list of lists, then maybe that'll work. But yeah, and then I'll make like a BGM3 allows you to make like what was it, the dense, sparse, and the sentence embeddings. So maybe I can like make all those and then start doing some similarity analysis that way. Yeah. Let's see, you've been job hunting P3 and you don't get resumes anymore. Neither do I. I don't know what to do. And like, especially some people, I saw one suggestion is that like you just write everything. Oh my gosh. Titan. How are you doing? Toaster Catgirl Sniper. That's great. Thank you for the raid. Let me see. I'll shout you out. Shout out. I think that Katan. Okay. The channel I'm shouting out does not exist. I apparently cannot spell. KT. Okay, cool. Whatever makes you happy, KT. Let's see. So shout out. How was your stream? What did you do? Why can't I get that right? Why can't I? Oh my gosh. I don't stream for 2 weeks and then all of a sudden I can't remember to do like any of this stuff. Like really basic stuff. There we go. Cool. Finally figured it out. It only took like way too long. You're from Errand and Nova Circle. Oh, cool. You thought you rated me before, or I rated you, but fellow game dev streamer. Okay, awesome. I was wondering, I was like, I feel like I've seen your name before. And it's been a while. Yeah, actually, because it's not your first time chatting, so you've been in here before sometime. But yeah, and since it's been like 2 weeks since I like have been streaming, I'm like, I don't remember anything. You're working on the movement FPS FNAF parody. FNAP. that is now in the lore. Yeah, welcome in. Oh, right. Man, it really has been a while. Let me open up the page. And do you remember that when people raid in, they can suggest a recipe? Because you're gonna have to suggest a recipe. Let's see. Okay. All right, here we go. So for people who've never been in here, there's this is a thing I've been working on, and I made some off-stream progress on this a little bit on the back end, but this is a recipe recommender that I've made. So how it works is you put in the name of dish you like and the cuisine it's from, and then it finds like aggregated versions of that dish via the Edamame API, and then looks for man, it really has been a while since I talked about this, which is weird. I talked about it in an interview today, and I was like, man, I did not trip over my own words during that interview. But it will take the dish that you like and suggest recipes from different cuisines with similar ingredients. There we go. So yeah. Let's see, there's supposed to be a boss that references Poppy's playtime, so it could be Five Nights at Poppy's. Five Nights at Pappy's would be like a distillery tour, right? I've never had Pappy Van Winkle. It's way too expensive. I have had Weller. I don't know who like drinks in chat, but you used to be, so Pappy Van Winkle is this like really kind of hipster weeded bourbon brand, I think. I think it's weeded bourbon. And a bunch of chef people like it. It got really trendy. Back in grad school, I heard it was like $300 a bottle, and it's probably way more than that now, because they never really changed the supply, and the demand has always been high. But the distillery that makes it, they actually just make a bunch of different brands with the same stills, and there's one brand that actually had the same recipe, but they were way under the radar. So that was Weller. And you used to be able to buy Weller for like $27 a bottle. I bought like 1 or 2 of those, and I've never been able to find it since, because it got, people found out and it started getting like super popular. Last time I looked, a bottle of Weller is now like $100, and like the store I found it at, they said what you had to do was you bought raffle tickets, and then the winner of the raffle won the chance to buy Weller at MSRP. And I was like, this is so stupid. But yeah, other than that particular store was great, and my friends took me there, and I was like, okay, the staff here is really great. They have a good selection. I cannot believe Weller is that popular. The overall game is more directly focused on lampooning FNAF, with the main enemy group being possessed showbiz animatronics wielding various dangerous weapons. Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I have like fuzzy memories of seeing your work on this already. So I think I may have rated you before, but it's been so long. But it does sound like a cool idea. I don't know. I also really is. And then you just move around like a Titanfall pilot using your own sci-fi arsenal. Okay, you got me. I love Titanfall. Oh, actually, did y'all see the trailer for the new Doom? What was it, Doom Dark Ages? Yeah, that has been stuck in my head for like about a week. There's a new Doom? Oh yeah, okay, we're gonna watch it. Doom Dark Ages. Share it in the chat. I don't know where that... Oh. Sorry, that was super loud. Give him a time and a dragon. He rides a dragon thingy. I mean, I think people are really caught up on the like one of his weapons like literally grinds up skulls and fires the pieces back at enemies. I think some very detail-oriented people said that the shotgun is actually seems to be a flintlock. The Morningstar slash flail is really cool. There's now a parry system that you can see, and then one of the weapons is like a railgun slash stake thrower. I'm very on board with this. I played a lot of Doom Eternal. I loved Doom Eternal. I didn't play the 2016 remake, although I own it. I just never got around to it. And then I heard that like the performance on like game performance, not the actual like gameplay or whatever, the like how many FPS and stuff you have, like I think it didn't run as well or something. And then like Doom Eternal like is like magic and runs extremely well on like everything. So it's just like, well, okay, I'll just play Doom Eternal. Maybe I should give Doom 2016 a try. But yeah, I really like Doom. And I think Bethesda said that this is the last one in the trilogy that they've planned. And I think the idea is like now that they've worked on Dark Ages, it may actually lead into like a natural thing of like, okay, now we're doing Quake. So like, yeah, like good old boomer shooters. But yeah, let me see. And yeah, other than that, we are just gonna go back to doing this class. This is music feels like it's a little too loud in my headphones. Hopefully it's okay. There's an enemy type in JS that's kind of just a slightly easier marauder. Jack Schmidt, okay. I definitely thought you were talking about JavaScript. I was like, there's enemy types in JavaScript? What a very specific typing. I hated the Marauder. The first Marauder that shows up, huge nightmare. And then my brother can vouch for me. I don't know if they make him way harder the first time. Like when there's a big boss the first time, if it's supposed to be like you just get used to it. And then afterwards, when you've solved the puzzle and you know how to do it, like I think my record for a Marauder was like it showed up and I think I might have killed another one in like 12 seconds or something. And I remember just being like, okay, I really hate these things. And it like what I like about Doom's level design is like as it introduces you to all these different things in terms of like enemies and weapons and your abilities and all that kind of stuff, the puzzles start going together like much faster in your head. Like I feel like Doom Eternal is kind of like is kind of like this weird like puzzle solver slash rhythm game where like you repeat these levels, you're gonna die a bunch of times. You repeat them, figure out what is actually gonna happen, and you kind of like solve the puzzle. But because of the way the enemies spawn, it kind of felt like there's a certain pacing that you have to follow along, and then you figure out the pacing almost like platformers when they're scrolling, and then the order in which you actually have to like get rid of the enemies. So yeah, like I think like one of the times when later on I'd like really solved Marauders and like doing damage priority and what weapons and stuff to switch to, like I think it was like 12 seconds or something, and my brother had seen me fight the first one and he was like, holy crap, how did you do that? And I was like, I think I just got used to these because they show up every once in a while and I hate them. So then I figured out like the tricks to do like massive damage. I think it was like ballista swap into double shotgun or something, and then you swap back. I forget what it was. I just remember it was like a quick swap between two weapons. I thought one was ballista, and eventually you're just like, I got this, and then it felt really good. Like he like gave me a high five after the 12-second kill. He was like, dude, those crazy. It's a consequence of your game's name. His name is specifically Jack Schmidt because it's essentially Mike Schmidt, the FNAF protagonist, plus Jack Cooper, Titanfall 2. Okay, cool. That's a really good idea. Yeah, that's awesome. I can't believe you threw a Marauder in. That's very torturous.
And so,
oh, actually, let me put. We got rated by KT. And also, if you still had a recipe you wanted me to do a search on, let me know, and then I can go look for it. It's been a long time since played Eternal. You don't quite remember how much trouble you might have had with the Marauder. Ah, okay. Mostly easier than real D Marauder. No shield, just a shotgun dash. Oh, okay, that's really cool. Okay. I hated the shield. I hated the shield so much.
Chunks of text. We're going to be, actually, every time we're going to feed them into a transformer, we're going to have many batches of multiple chunks of text that are all like stacked up in a single tensor. And that's just done for efficiency, just so that we can keep the GPUs busy, because they are very good at parallel processing of data. And so we just want to process multiple chunks all at the same time. But those chunks are processed completely independently, they don't talk to each other, and so on. So let me basically just generalize this and introduce a batch dimension. Here's a chunk of code. Let me just run it, and then I'm going to explain what it does. So here, because
I didn't pay attention for like 2 seconds. Okay, so we copy pasted a whole bunch of code. So let's write this in. Torch.manual seed 1337. Batch size equals 4. How many independent sequences? Oops. Will be processed. Block size was 8, not 9, 8. How many, or sorry, what is the maximum context length for predictions? All right, so def get batch split. What are, oh, he just, wait, what?
So I'm just run it, and then I'm going to explain what.
How did I have this already? Okay, we don't need to write this again. That's really weird.
So here, because we're going to start sampling random locations in the dataset to pull chunks from, I am setting the seed so that in the random number.
Best viewers on some sketchy link. Raphael, I never seen you before. Normally I say thank you for the first time chat, but that looks like spam. So, let's see. Yeah, we'll see you in like 10 minutes. Don't do that again. That is spam, yes. Not even the low sodium kind, or the like maple one. I really wanted to try the maple one.
So that the numbers I see here are going to be the same numbers you see later, if you try to reproduce this.
I was nice. I didn't ban him right away. But yeah, how are you doing, Karayan?
Now the batch size here is how many independent sequences we are processing every forward-backward pass of the transformer.
Also, if I pronounce that wrong, I know I've asked you how to pronounce that before. If I pronounce it wrong, please forgive me. Please correct me again. It's been a super long time since I've seen any of these Twitch news.
That gives us data array. And then
it's just like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but 2 weeks not streaming or being on Twitch is just like, all of that just got pushed out of my head. Probably also it doesn't help that I went to Reunion and we had an open bar in like a lot of places. You got back from a trip from Montana. Oh, nice. What did you see? Did you go to Glacier?
I actually generate batch size number of random offsets. So because this is 4, IX is going to be 4 numbers that are randomly generated between 0 and.
You did go to Glacier. Nice.
So it's just random offsets into the training.
Love Glacier.
And then x's, as I explained,
Although I've only
are
been
the first block size
once,
starting at
1.5 times.
The y's are the offset by 1 of that, so just add +1. And then we're going to get those
Kids and
chunks
wife
for
loved
every
it.
one
Nice,
of
nice.
I in ix, and use a torch.stack.
What was
to take
the
all those,
what was the
one-dimensional
highlight
tensors
if
that
there
we saw
was
here,
only one?
and
You
we're
can
going
give up to 3.
stack them up as rows. And so they all become a row in a 4x8 tensor. So here's what I'm printing then. When I sample a batch xb and yb, the inputs to the transformer now are, the input x is the 4x8 tensor, 4 rows of 8 columns, and each one of these is a chunk of the training set. And then the targets here are in the associated array y, and they will come in to the transformer all the way at the end to create the loss function. So they will give us the correct answer.
Avalanche Lake.
Inside.
Looking this up. Oh, I think I know this one. Hithouse, welcome in, welcome in. Is this the one that this like Avalanche Lake is like all glacier runoff? Like it's all snow melt. And like the mountain is huge. It's like a huge wall in front of you. Is that trail? Because I think I've done that one. Yeah, that is a sick hike. It is amazing. Yeah, I definitely have pictures on my computer of like that place, and it's just like really, really, really wild. There's like no other way to describe it. And your wife would say the 2 moose you saw, were they, how big were the moose? Meese? Did you follow the like keep wildlife away? They should be hiding behind your thumb. How's life as Julie Faye relaxed, recharged? I feel better. I definitely feel better after being away. And like talking with friends I hadn't seen in a while and commiserating with people who kind of went through similar things that I did. And then knowing that they're kind of like knowing that I'm not alone in suffering it, right? But yeah, Julia's a role model. I think I looked to see if she updated anything. I did, because I had 2 interviews. What day is it? I had 2 interviews today. Wow, what a long day. What's it called? I think I looked at some of her things that she suggested to like review for like different interviews as practice and stuff. And that got me to like Emma Ding's channel. And I was like, you know what? It's pretty cool. That was very helpful. So like hopefully that will help me review stuff in the future. You hope I won't turn out to be a creator. What? I mean, I think the last video I saw, she was explaining that like where some of her money comes from. It was like she had a Q&A, and like she asked her, I saw she was commenting like I asked for spicy questions and people were asking like I would say inappropriate questions, but one of the things that was like a valid question I think was like, how are you supporting yourself essentially, or is like someone else helping you out? And she was talking about like you know, as a content creator you can still make quite a bit of money, and like I feel like in that video I skipped most of it because I was just like, I am really not interested in most, and like when she's showing off her outfit and stuff, I'm like, I don't really care. And then when she was talking about like some sponsor that was doing something that wasn't related to coding or data science, I was like, also like, I don't care, so I'm just gonna skip this part. Let's see, Julia's pivoting from serious data analyst into an up-and-coming makeup, etc. advertiser making job searching vids. Oh man. Like I think like one of these things, as I see different content creators, even in tech, if they're doing like lifestyle stuff, I'm like, you know, I I'm not really interested in that. Like, I feel like it's okay if it's part of it's like, I don't mind like showing like I'm trying to cook something and like I'll do like a little segment on that and then get back to whatever I'm doing, because like as we've seen, food is like a really big part of my life. So I like that idea of like introducing that part of it, but I don't think I could do the like I'm gonna record a bunch of B-roll of me moving from place to place where I'm studying or something, because like I'm just like I don't think that's all that interesting necessarily. Like if I were on a vacation and showing like, hey, I'm going from place to place, like that's obviously that's a thing you would do. But if the focus is supposed to be like data science stuff, then I'm like, I don't think I should be doing that stuff. But yeah, I mean no shade on her. If she really wants to pivot into doing something else, then that's totally cool. Let's see. They're rather tall, so it's hard to say. First was on trail, the second was on your drive to St. Mary. Okay, cool. I walked up to, when I was in Glacier, I rode the boat across the lake and then took this like really long trail that was kind of sort of a backcountry trail, but I did it as a day hike, which was a little wild. Let me see. It was like Isolation Lake or something. Desolation Lake? Glacier. Desolation. Oh, that's not it. That's not even the same park. That's also in Washington. Let's see. Glacier National Park. What's with these colors? Oh, it's Pride. Okay. All I saw was this like pink and this looks like sepia to me, and I was like, is something wrong with my monitor? And then when I scrolled down, I'm like, oh, I think these are Pride colors. Yeah, that's okay. Not like I was like, are the pictures like messed up? Let's see. Mini Glacier. I think McDonald. Oh, wait. I think I went to Iceberg Lake. I don't know if I went to Avalanche Lake. Not Ptarmigan. Grinnell looks familiar. Places, things to do, hiking, Lake McDonald, Goat Haunt. I don't remember St. Mary or Two Medicine. Going to the sun. Oh, that's the really big one. Which is the one? Am I thinking the Tetons? I'm thinking the Tetons, aren't I? No, oh wait, I'm pretty sure it was Glacier. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, what was I gonna say? That hike I did was super cool. At the very end, I like I finally used my water filter that I bought, and I got to drink like glacial melt, and it was so good. It was like ice cold, and then super fresh. And then on that hike, like on the way back, I saw like a mother moose and her calf. Calf? I don't know what the babies are called. They were huge, and it was just like, let's just stay away from them. And what is this YouTube video? Oh, I think I saw this one. Yeah, this. Let's see. Life is enjoying pulling all kinds of. Yeah, I think this is the one I like legitimately skipped like half or 3/4 of, because I was like, oh, this isn't. No one can wear cars. Outfits land you a job. Moisturizers make even the most determined rejection-minded recruiters reconsider eventually hiring. An apple glass. Welcome in, welcome in. It just got cold in here. It was just a shade. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. These are 3-year-old kid-friendly ones. Tiny humans can carry on while their battery recharges. I went up to Red Rock on that last map. There's so many good hikes. And I think I might have already closed the one that you're talking about. Man, Glacier's such a great park. All mileages are one way. Is it common to mark distances on a map as whole route lengths? I think not necessarily. So like, I think it's just marking out segments, and then you can figure it out like on the way back. This is also something that like I hadn't seen this in a while. Like on all trails, for example, when you get the map, or the hiking trail, you usually get like this is the total distance. But I had forgotten that in a number of places they actually just mark it out by segments, and you can just add up all the numbers. So like I did a pretty easy hike with my friend in Massachusetts, and we ended up going around a little pond, but like I forgot that it was like marking out segments, and we're like looking at it, it's just like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. This is total or whatever. The only way you've ever seen numbers is distances between pins. Why on earth would they be round trips? Oh, I think people get used to that. From specifically like All Trails or Google Maps or something, and they kind of forget that it's like, oh yeah. I mean, like I forgot. But most of the time, like I think All Trails will tell you, for example, it's like it's a mileage is this as a loop, or mileage is this as an out and back. And if you're just used to like getting the GPX track and then moving on, then it's just like, oh, okay, that's really easy. But you know, if you're using actual maps and trails, I think it's usually marked. Why would you look between pins on this map? I think on this one, it gives you a sense of like how far different. I think this is a road. On this one, it might be helpful to like just be aware of where all the things are. So for example, like if you don't know how far you can actually go, like going this way, how much are these also feel like they're not like super to scale. Like how this is 2.9 miles from here to here. That seems like not correct when this is like 1.6. Or is this, maybe that's right, because this gets covered up by the ranger station. So I don't know, maybe it could be helpful if it's like, okay, you've hit a junction in a landmark, like how far until the next one. Like here, well, actually in that case I would have had a little like dot here, but yeah, probably also one here. Your mileage mate. Oh, the other thing was I think yeah, here we go. I was like, I think Glacier is the one that their signs actually say like, hey, our mileage may be wrong. Like I think when I was out there, they were like, we're in the process of redoing our signs because the mileage is incorrect. It was like using a different method to calculate it before, and they're like, we're kind of redoing it. Guess they're wait, I forgot. Did I say ask how you're doing, Appleglass? Guess they're the walking distances between pins on the map. The small pink dots links with thin line to mark position on the trail. Like right here, 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 here. Yeah. This is a great park. Can I car camp in Glacier? I'm pretty sure the answer is no. Like, there's bears and stuff there. Orange Creek, Goma Sun Road. I think I am thinking of Grand Tetons, actually. Tetons National Park. The hike I was mentioning, yeah. Tetons is also a great park. I definitely was thinking of Grand Teton National Park. Let's see. There's a ferry that will take you across Lay Lake. Yeah, so this ferry, you can go up, and then Ram's Head. inspiration point. That's not it. Lake Solitude. So I did this as a day hike. I woke up, I think my campsite was here. I drove all the way down. I took this ferry over, and then I just hiked this, and then I went back. Let me see. Where is Lake Solitude? Yeah. When I was out there, I saw people camped out in the valley, and I was like, wow, that looks awesome. It sounds like a great idea. Maybe not a fun idea was coming all the way back. I think like I hiked 9 to 13 hours. I don't know how much distance it was, but like I left, like I had like hiker's breakfast like on the boat, like protein bars and like gorp, I think it's the nickname. And then when I got back, I like fell asleep in my car. I took like an hour and a half nap, and then I went to dinner. Let's see. Probably did just half out of it. Had a migraine attack going over 24 hours now. He still finished final dissertation revisions and sent it to your advisor a couple hours ago. Hopefully she accepts them. I was wondering how that was going. Bears are no problem after they chew on something. Yes, well. You've got a chronic migraine disorder. You go for another neuro treatment on Monday. I hope it goes well and that man, I can't, like I've had migraines only like a few times in my life. Having them chronically sounds so painful. More head turning activities like walking in parks to relax all the muscles. One day hiking, 4 hours working time. Computer. Many have migraines, nothing about muscles. Yeah, I have a like the host, the photographer host of On Taking Pictures, like he apparently gets like cluster migraines. And I think it was linked to something like in the nerves had some sort of issue, and I was just like, man, I cluster anything just sounds like a bad bad time.
These are the 4 independent rows. So spelled out as we did before, this 4x8 array contains a total of 32 examples, and they're completely independent.
Oh, I guess on that, like, creators doing different things with different sponsorships. Like, man, if I forgot what company I have, Shea Moisture, I think. If they want to sponsor me for conditioner for my hair, I would 100% accept it. Because, like, that stuff is expensive and it's great, and I need more of it. They can, honestly, they probably don't even have to pay me. I just feel like I'll just take like a case of it.
As far as the transformer is concerned.
You can get a migraine, a headache here or there, but it's not the same as having a migraine. It's super understudied disease that it's hard to keep the info straight. It has you get 6-hour headaches that prevent any working if you only rest your head backwards on head rest, like sleep in an airplane for half an hour. Realizing how I said all that was probably really abrasive. I don't know. I think I get where you're coming from. Like, I don't know. I have friends who don't like it when people say they have like gluten allergies or something. Because like I have friends who actually have like super severe gluten allergies. And then when they try to explain it to restaurant staff and stuff, they're like, they do the like, I don't believe you face, because so many people say that they can't take gluten, and in reality they just like don't like, I don't know, they don't get enough fiber to handle the gluten or something. I don't know. Yeah. Most people don't, saying them out more stern helps. Yeah. Like, I mean, like, I don't mind. Like, migraines suck. From, like, all the people I know who get migraines, like, it's so fucking bad.
The input is 24, the target is 43. Or rather, 43 here in the Y array. When the input is 24, 43, the target is 58. When the input is 24, 43, 58, the target is 5, etc. or like when it is a 5258-1.
Yeah, the like 1 or 2 times I've had it is like doesn't compare to like people who get them
These are
regularly.
protein
I'm just
to
like,
independent
okay, I could
examples
just get
packed in
fucking
a
taken
single
out for like a
batch
day and then
containing
I'm
X,
fine.
and
But
then the desired
and it
targets
comes out of nowhere.
in
Okay.
Y.
And then like
And so
if it
now
happens
this
regularly to
integer
people,
tensor
it's like, holy shit,
of
that sounds awful.
X is going to feed into the transformer, and that transformer is going to simultaneously process all these examples and then look up the correct integers to predict in every one of these positions in the tensor Y. Okay, so now that we have our batch of input that we'd like to feed into a transformer, let's start basically feeding this into neural networks. Now we're going to start off with the simplest possible neural network, which in the case of language modeling, in my opinion, is the bigram language model. And we've covered the bigram language model in my Make More series in a lot of depth. And so here I'm going to...
It's not helped by doctors calling bad headaches migraines. It's like asthma. You don't have asthma, you don't have migraines. You don't have asthmas, you don't have migraines. You have migraine headache attacks, and that's part of migraine singular. It's like men thinking periods and endometriosis not being a thing for hundreds or thousands of years. What is... I'm almost afraid to look this up. Wait, those aren't the same at all. Like this? Your friends who have endo and it's not fun. This sounds awful. This sounds so bad. Man, it's like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. This sounds really, really bad. I'm pure surprised when the common pain levels of females exceeds what they can survive. Yeah, like... yeah. Okay, I forget if I told this story before, but when I was with my friend, and she was carrying her son, she carried him for like kind of a long time, like 30 minutes or something. Didn't seem to be a problem for her. And then she was like, oh yeah, can I get a break? Can someone take over? I'm like, yeah, sure, I can carry your kid. And I put him in like one arm like she did. And then I think after like 10 minutes, I was just like, holy shit, I don't know if I can do this. This is like way heavier than I thought. Like, how did you do this for like an hour? Many females experience regular pains with periods. Endos are often a couple of levels more painful regularly. Yeah, it sounds so painful. You're also a lucky one. Is a rare type of migraine where it's rooted in your brainstem. Yeah, I know we're in an ad. Once the ad closes, we'll get back. But I'm gonna go ahead with the lecture a little bit.
And let's just implement the PyTorch module directly that implements the bigram language model.
Oh, my hair. Import torch. Torch.nn as an n. Torch.import functional as f. Torch. Okay. Size. Def forward self X targets. IDX and targets both be t tensor integers. Logits equals self dot token embedding table IDX. This will be BTC. Return widgets. Bigram language model. Vocab size. Oops. Out equals MXP. Might be print out dot shape. Okay. Okay, and we're ad is over. All right, so let me scroll back up. Okay, so Apple has when you said I'm the lucky one, that's a rare type of migraine where it's rooted in your brainstem. I definitely was like, you know that there's a subreddit. It's like brand new sentence. I'm just like, the phrase "rooted in your brainstem" sounds so like it makes me think of like face huggers from Alien. Like it's not. It doesn't sound lucky, right? It's just like that, rooted in, Your migraine cycles, not the headache part, last about a week each, but the headache attack has lasted over 24 hours this time. Ugh. You go for Botox on Monday and take other preventatives, but some still get through regardless. You're down to 1 or fewer a week now versus 3 every week, which meant symptoms every single day since the cycles are 7 to 10 days each. Ugh. Ugh. Wait, Botox? Do they, like, I only know Botox as like, I know it's like a, I thought the way it worked was like, it kind of like freezes your nerves, is that right? Like I thought part of why it works for cosmetic surgery is it like, not like numbs them, but it's like a temporary blockage of something, and then one of the side effects, I guess, is like it can like reduce the appearance of wrinkles. I don't really remember, but like, are they like putting that into your brainstem? Botox is a paralytic. Inject it into the tips of nerves and muscles and can block the pathways for pain. No, you're still in the weeds of Karpathy vids. It's just 2 additional steps after you're done with the vids. Oh, okay, cool. You get 31 injections across your face, head, neck, and shoulders. Whew. Look up table. That's my bad. I did something wrong. Let's see. Oh. There we go. Let me put this in stream notes. What is my music channel today? This doesn't sound anything like what I normally listen to. Impending Destiny main full. Oh, for a second that sounded like the... It is. Okay. Isn't this the Chef's Table song? Why is this chill hop? Oh, chill hop is a label. It's not a genre. Man, like... I feel like I'm about to get yelled at by a Michelin chef, which is not make me chill out. After Karpathy vids. Add types to make sure tensor dimensions are size expected, and convert all the matmul maths into Ah, okay, cool. It's a very pleasant. Let me see. Apple glass. Migraines versus, what was it? Migraine headaches? Migraines definitely sound like the worst. That story, that story has me on pins and needles. A migraine is singular. Oh, okay. Thank you. How long does a Botox? Yeah, that's a good question. Rooted in brainstem. It's like what was it? Makes me think of the cordyceps from Last of Us. When is this video hit house? Oh, Vivaldi. Oh, wait. So is the Chef's Table song? I forget. I thought it was. Wasn't it from? I thought it was actually from. Wait, so I am so confused as to where that last song we listened to is from. Impending Destiny Main Full. I thought it was. Was it a sample from somewhere else? I have no idea anymore. My brain is fried. Botox lasts 10 to 12 weeks. Yours only lasts for 10, so you have to get special insurance approved to bring it down from 12. Oh man. Okay. No job yet, and your insurance run out at the end of August. So yeah, I know that feeling. I feel like I'm about to like. I don't know how it happens if it's like California insurance or unemployment insurance. Like I ran out a long time ago, but they told me like, yeah, you can apply after this date, which is like coming up very soon. So I'm kind of like, so does that mean I get unemployment again? Because like I thought that was only paid for by having a job. Did not mean to make this a crazy on stream. We got derailed. It's totally fine. Chef's Table specific melodies from Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Oh, okay. I was like, I've heard this before, and it wasn't from chill hop music. And like, I remember watching Chef Table and just being like, isn't this is Vivaldi? But yeah, no worries, Apple Class. It is helpful.
So
it is informative. We're learning.
NN module for reproducibility. And then here I'm constructing a bigram language model, which is a subclass of NN module.
Versus like, I feel like I could have like, alternatively, we could have just talked about how terrible the Cybertruck is. And like, nobody learns anything from that, right? Really, the only people, I was going to say the only people who learn are like Cybertruck owners who shouldn't have bought the truck. And it turns out they don't care.
The inputs and the targets. And I'm just printing. Now when the inputs and targets come here, you see that I'm just taking
they'll just complain about it on social media, even though it's just like you totally forced yourself to take an unforced error.
Here is that here in constructor, we are creating a token embedding table, and it is of size vocaps.
I'd like to choose the typing library already, but we've gone through that in this channel a couple times. Still can't remember its name. The typing library. I think I'm using like a VS Code linter or something. Can't remember. Oh, excuse me. It's not markdown lit. I think I'm using Pylance, and that's what like goes in and adds all this stuff for me. And then also marks out like hints and errors and that kind of stuff. But don't hold me to that. Samich, how are you doing? Guess we were. Oh yeah, Jack's typing. I remember. Yeah. Type annotations and runtime checking for shape and D type of Jack's NumPy, PyTorch, etc. arrays. Does this play nice with Pylance? Because like that'd be super nice. It also supports this. I feel like this is new. Like I thought last time we talked, you mentioned this. I didn't think it did these, but I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Cause like, type hinting in Python is like not great for scikit-learn because sklearn in particular, not sklearn, sorry, pandas, and I think NumPy. Those in particular, like we've already been here long enough. Why would we refactor to actually do classes? And it's like, okay. Gotta go. Keep your bigrams in vogue and Botox is strong. All right. Thanks for coming by, Hithouse.
Size by vocab size.
I don't know how long we're gonna keep running because like I was mentioning earlier in stream, like my body's still kind of on East Coast time and I can feel the fatigue like behind my eyeballs, and I'm like, okay, let's keep rolling. I kind of want to, honestly, I kind of want to stay on East Coast, like weird East Coast time. It's almost like mountain time because I feel like it's kind of nice. Like I've been going to sleep at like 11 and waking up at 6. And it turns out I actually really like having more than 5 hours of sleep, even though I did 5 to 6 hours for forever. You know where the fatigue is rooted? It's not your eyeballs. Is it the brainstem? Mountain to East Coast time for you. Okay, yeah.
So 24 here, we'll go to the embedding table, and we'll pluck out the 24th row. And then 43 will go here, and pluck out the 43rd row, etc. And then PyTorch is going to arrange all of this into a batch by time by channel tensor. In this case, batch is 4, time is 8, and C, which is the channels, is vocab size or 65. And so we're just going to pluck out all those rows, arrange them in a B by T by C, and now we're going to interpret this as the logits, which are basically the scores for the next character in the sequence. And so what's happening here is we are predicting what comes next based on just the individual identity of a single token. And you can do that because, I mean, currently the tokens are not talking to each other, and they're not seeing any context except for they're just seeing themselves. So I'm a token number 5.
Just trying to see how loud the music
I
is.
can actually make pretty decent predictions about what comes next just by knowing that I'm token 5, because some characters follow other characters in typical scenarios. So we saw a lot of this in a lot more depth in the Make More series, and here if I just run this, then we currently get the predictions, the scores, the logits,
Excuse me,
for every one of the 4x8 positions. Now that we've made predictions about what comes next, we'd like to evaluate the loss function. And so in Make More series, we saw that a good way to measure a loss, or like a quality of predictions, is to use the negative log likelihood loss, which is also implemented in PyTorch under the name cross entropy. So what we'd like to do here is loss is the cross entropy on the predictions and the targets. And so this measures the quality of the logits with respect to the targets. In other words, we have the identity of the next character, so how well are we predicting the next character based on the logits? And intuitively, the correct dimension of logits, depending on whatever the target is, should have a very high number, and all the other dimensions should be a very low number, right? Now, the issue is that this won't actually, this is what we want. We want to basically output the logits and the loss. This is what we want, but unfortunately, this won't actually run. We get an error message. But intuitively, we want to measure this. Now, when we go to the PyTorch cross-entropy documentation here, we're trying to call the cross-entropy in its functional form, so that means we don't have to create like a module for it. But here when we go to the documentation, you have to look into the details of how PyTorch expects these inputs. And basically the issue here is PyTorch expects, if you have multi-dimensional input, which we do, because we have a B by T by C tensor, then it actually really wants the channels to be the second dimension here. So if you, so basically it wants a B by C by T instead of a B by T by C. And so it's just the details of how PyTorch treats these kinds of inputs. And so we don't actually want to deal with that. So what we're going to do instead is we need to basically reshape our logits. So here's what I like to do. I like to take, basically give names to the dimensions. So logits.shape is b by t by c, and unpack those numbers. And then let's say that logits equals logits.view, and we want it to be a b times t by c. So just a two-dimensional array, right? So we're going to take all of these positions here, and we're going to stretch them out in a one-dimensional sequence, and preserve the channel dimension as the second dimension. So we're just kind of like stretching out the array so it's two-dimensional, and in that case it's going to better conform to what PyTorch sort of expects in its dimensions. Now we have to do the same to targets, because currently targets are of shape b by t, and we want it to be just b times t, so one-dimensional. Now alternatively you could also just do -1, because PyTorch will guess what this should be if you want to lay it out, but let me just be explicit and say b times t. Once we've reshaped this, it will match the cross-entropy case, and then we should be able to evaluate our loss. Okay, so that right now, and we can do loss. And so currently we see that the loss is 4.87. Now, because we have 65 possible vocabulary elements, we can actually guess at what the loss should be. And in particular, we covered negative log likelihood in a lot of detail. We are expecting log, or ln, of 1 over 65, and negative of that. So we're expecting the loss to be about 4.17, but we're getting 4.87. And so that's telling us that the initial predictions are not super diffuse. They've got a little bit of entropy, and so we're guessing wrong. Yes, but actually we are able to evaluate the loss. Okay, so now that we can evaluate the quality of the model on some data, we'd like to also be able to generate from the model. So let's do the generation. Now I'm going to go again a little bit faster here because I covered all this already in the previous videos. So here's a generate function for the model. So we take take the same kind of input, idx here, and basically this is the current context of some characters in some batch. So it's also b by t, and the job of generate is to basically take this b by t and extend it to be b by t plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, and so it's just basically it continues the generation in all the batch dimensions in the time dimension. So that's its job, and we'll do that for max new tokens. So you can see here on the bottom, there's going to be some stuff here, but on the bottom, whatever is predicted is concatenated on top of the previous idx along the first dimension, which is the time dimension, to create a b by t plus 1. So that becomes a new idx. So the job of generate is to take a b by t and make it a b by t plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, as many as we want max new tokens. So this is the generation from the model. Now inside the generation, what are we doing? We're taking the current indices, we're getting the predictions. So we get, those are in the logits. And then the loss here is going to be ignored because we're not using that, and we have no targets that are sort of ground truth targets that we're going to be comparing with. Then once we get the logits, we are only focusing on the last step. So instead of a b by t by c, we're going to pluck out the -1, the last element in the time dimension, because those are the predictions for what comes next. So that gives us the logits, which we then convert to probabilities via softmax, and then we use torch multinomial to sample from those probabilities, and we ask PyTorch to give us one sample. And so idx next will become a b by 1, because in each one of the batch dimensions, we're going to have a single prediction for what comes next. So this num samples equals 1 will make this be a 1. And then we're going to take those integers that come from the sampling process, according to the probability distribution given here, and those integers get just concatenated on top of the current sort of like running stream of integers. And this gives us a b by t plus 1. And then we can return that. Now, one thing here is, you see how I'm calling self of idx, which will end up going to the forward function. I'm not providing any targets. So currently this would give an error because targets is sort of like not given. So targets has to be optional. So targets is none by default. And then if targets is none, then there's no loss to create. So it's just loss is none. But else, all of this happens and we can create a loss. So this will make it so if we have the targets, we provide them and get a loss. If we have no targets, we'll just get the logits.
I definitely feel my energy decreasing. Like, oh, wow, I'm pretty tired.
So this here will generate from the model. And let's take that for a ride now.
Oh, excuse me. sample the index to index to the running sequence. dx equals torch.cat cx next dim equals 1 t plus 1.
Oops. So I have another code chunk here, which will generate for the model, from the model. And okay, this is kind of crazy, so maybe let me let me break this down.
Dot generate torch dot zeros 1 d type torch dot long max new tokens equals 100. You need sleep, you need sleep. You're going to try to rest soon yourself. Mostly just feels to think you're done with revisions. If so, just going to format it again for the grad school office and you're done. Hey, nice. You're already Dr. Apple, but then it will be official and you can't take it away and they can't take it back away. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, I am excited. That formatting part like sucks. I forget if I mentioned like I wished I learned LaTeX in the beginning because like it looked like LaTeX was just way easier to format than like Microsoft Word. I think I might only go for like a couple more minutes and then just get ready for bed. I'll maybe try to squeeze in a quick Diablo session, but it will be like not a lot. Just to get like some daily stuff in Diablo, but my energy is like very quickly dropping.
So these are the IDX, right? I'm creating
loss dx equals torch dot zeros d type torch dot long.
a batch will be just 1, time will be just 1. So I'm creating a little 1x1 tensor, and it's holding a 0. And the
defense was last week. You already formatted it once. The university sent it back with a list of things to correct, so you can fix those and hope for the best. You load the margins and page number BS in Microsoft Word. It is so bad. There's no reason it's so complicated to do different pages.
The data type is integer. So 0 is going to be how we kick off the generation. And remember that 0 is the element standing for a new line character. So it's kind of like a reasonable thing to feed in as the very first character in a sequence to be the new line. So it's going to be IDX, which we're going to feed in here. Then we're going to ask for 100 tokens. And then end.generate will continue that. Now, because generate works on the level of batches, we then have to index into the 0th row to basically unblock the single batch dimension that exists. And then that gives us a time steps, just a one-dimensional array of all the indices, which we will convert to simple Python list from PyTorch tensor, so that can feed into our decode function and convert those integers into text. So let me bring this back, and we're generating 100 tokens. Let's run. And here's the generation that we achieved. So obviously it's garbage, and the reason it's garbage is because this is a totally random model. So next up, we're going to want to train this model. Now, one more thing I wanted to point out here is this function is written to be general, but it's kind of like ridiculous right now because we're feeding in all this, we're building out this context, and we're concatenating it all, and we're always feeding it all into the model. But that's kind of ridiculous because this is just a simple Migraine model. So to make, for example, this prediction about K, we only needed this W. But actually what we fed into the model is we fed the entire sequence. And then we only looked at the very last piece and predicted K. So the only reason I'm writing it in this way is because right now this is a Migraine model, but I'd like to keep this function fixed, and I'd like it to work later when our characters actually basically look further in the history. And so right now the history is not used, so this looks silly.
I think I'm going to get started on looking for someone to raid. starting to get that, like,
Holiday Inn?
you know, when you're sleeping, you get that, like, a little bit loopy. That's kind of, I think that's kind of where I am right now. So I'm like, okay, that's probably a good time for me to, like, go get ready for bed. Let's raid Yag.
Phone call from the boss? Sorry. Outdoor time. It's me time.
Does that sound good? Raiding Yag. How do I do this again? Slash raid. Oh man. Okay, cool. And then I will put this in stream notes. We raided TheYagich. Okay, cool. Raid command is in. I am really tired. Well, I feel like the bags under my eyes are like much more defined now. May my brainstem be healthy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, Apple Glass. But yeah, thank all of you for coming in. First stream back in a long, long time. I should be back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll start earlier and we can, I don't know, maybe we'll do like a fun break and try to catch up on stuff I saw when I was on vacation and stuff. But otherwise, like, we'll just like, I don't know, we'll just stream longer. Like, we only really did like 15 minutes of this video. I'm just too tired to do anymore right now. Yeah, go enjoy Yag's stream, who I think is live, but looks frozen. Okay, I forgot I muted Yag's tab. But yeah, thank you all for coming in. I'll see you tomorrow. Plans are Friday. I should also still be streaming, and it'll be photo stream. Maybe we'll just do a catch-up stream then. And then this weekend I'm going out of town again to work on my brother's car. Hopefully it will work. But yeah, we'll try to keep ending with Chrono going to bed at 11 because I'm just really liking 7 hours of sleep. Anyway, thanks for coming in. We'll see you in the next stream. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.